and the Zoe, paired with the Yuumi. Now, obviously, Yuumi able to synergize a bit with the Aurelia as well. But if we're looking for a champion that's probably fantastic here at being a frontline and doing everything that you really need, it would just be Mundo. They have double AP, they have extremely limited amounts of CC, and Mundo already has so much tenacity. It's not a very common pick, probably not one that many people would be expecting to hear. But I think it would serve an infinitely better purpose.
Well, speaking of serving an infinitely better purpose, let's stop talking about the game. We have the full Team Rocket lineup here on Gen G's side. And so in order to get into this match, would you like to be Jesse or James?
I'll take James.
All right. So I'll start this one off. It will be as we're loading in. As you can see, Aurelia, Rek'Sai, Zoe, Ezreal, and Yuumi. Those last three will, in fact, be our Team Rocket trio, joined with some split push potential in the top side of the map on behalf of the Aurelia, and then a little bit of scouting potential with the burrowed version of Rek'Sai. The Tremor Sense is there. And so here we go. Due to Team Rocket being here in the game, prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
To protect the world from devastation.
To unite all peoples within our nation.
To denounce the evils of truth and love.
To extend our reach to the stars above.
Jesse!
James!
Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light.
Surrender now or prepare to fight.
And both of us,
meow,
that's right. Beautiful. And now we have a pause because it was so good. We're going to just hop immediately out of the game.
Yeah.
And Ruler has an issue. He's got some lag issues. I think it's because of too much Team Rocket blasting off.
Oh, I thought they were about to come over and give us an award.
Yeah, or maybe they just decided not to play this game. They're like, we won the draft too much. We may as well just walk off with a win. No, that's not true.
It was so good they had to pause.
Yeah, they just needed
they
to
looked
absorb
around
it. Yeah.
And they said, who just did that? Oh, man.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
We've had the scrolling text from Star Wars last week, and now we've got the Team Rocket motto, which now, every time, and when Valdez is here as well, every time we get Ezreal, Yuumi, Zoe,
yeah,
it needs to be read before the broadcast. Every single time.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we're just hoping that Ruler's lag issue is going to be fixed up. Root there, you can see, ready to try and go up against this difficult bottom lane to contend with, not only with the nameplates on, but with the nameplates off as well. I mean, Ezreal Yuumi is a powerful combo, and Volibear doesn't offer too much presence in the lane outside of being able to lock down a Yuumi in a gank scenario. So look to see whether OnFleek can really get around this map early, and he's on a Lee Sin. I mean, we're sinning real hard on this sandbox composition.
We're all sinners, Atlas.
I mean, even Rumble, Nautilus, they're not going to get much better after 2 items. And MF will scale, but she can't scale by herself, you know? So this composition does need to get all their work done throughout the mid-game, which is a time where Gen G's composition also spikes, which is why we look at Gen G's comp and think, is there a way that they're going to lose this one? As you can see, OnFleek just meditating, trying to come to terms with what he's up against here in this particular match, or savoring his energy for the fight ahead.
The thing is that Gen G, even if they do fall behind, they have so much insurance inside of the Yuumi, Ezreal, and Zoe.
He actually did legitimately look like Resident Sleeper face, by the way. OnFleek was actually doing the Resident Sleeper face. Thanks to the collective for absolutely recognizing that, and now just filling up the chat with Resident Sleepers.
All right, well.
Still trying to figure it out. As you can see, Ruler having some help by the techs to get everything back in order. We've got gloves and masks, of course. Remember, guys, coronavirus is still a big deal. Unfortunately, today, I found out travel bans from South Korea to Australia.
What?
Yeah. You can no longer travel, or Italy, I think, was the announcement on the news.
Wait a minute. What does this mean for EGIM?
So you can travel from Australia, that you can't go to Australia
So
unless you're
back.
unless you're an Australian citizen. So I think I can. I'm not 100% about this.
I'm sure your embassy could.
Yeah. So
override.
if you are a citizen, you can always go back to your country.
So
I'm pretty sure
there's
it's much
probably
like the North American rule as well.
Right. So there's probably very limited transport available
Yeah.
in terms of or you might not actually even be able to directly go there. I would imagine you'd have. So when I was actually planning to potentially go back to the States during the break that we're going to have here at the LcK, one of the fears is that what happens if America doesn't allow me back into South Korea, and then EGIM's the one doing the full color weeks.
And
But
you know what? It's like actually crazy
It is.
because we might have the most intense weeks ever when we get back into it, right? Like,
yeah, that is.
we don't know how long this hiatus is going to be, and maybe we need to pack like, I don't know, we'll do 4 best of 3s a day for 7 days a week for like 3 weeks or something like that. Like, who knows what's going to happen in
is
order
there
to
a
get all
chance
of the
they
games done.
change it to best of 1?
There is, I absolutely hope that that is not the case. I think that that might be a worst case scenario. I know nothing has been confirmed as of yet, but if it's best of 1 for the second round robin, I'm going to be extremely sad because we already know that if it was a best of 1, the standings would look very
different.
I think KT's like second if it was best of 1s.
Man.
Because remember they won every game 1 and then lost series,
And you know
so
what?
that's why they're not winning.
This is so interesting too because I wonder how much it would affect other regions as well.
Well, I mean, we know that the LPL is already a disaster. We don't know what's happening there with their league, which is the longest in the world. as well.
I know what some people from NA and EU would think is that it's already best of 1, duh. But what I'm trying to say is that what if the team that lost the game could have brought it back 2-0? And
No,
then
exactly.
ended up winning the series.
I mean, that's the
So-
point, and that's already been proven to drastically change what the standings
Yes.
look like as well.
within
so.
the LcK.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting, and I think that it puts a lot more weight on the games themselves.
I think there's some competitive integrity issues as well when you've got the first round robin based on side selection being played as best of 3. And so you get, blue, red, blue, for example, and maybe you're a blue side team, maybe you're a red side team, and then it comes into the second round robin, and instead of having that buffer, you don't get it. So
We are back in the game. So we had a wireless mouse issue.
yeah, that was what the
And,
issue was. So a
you know-
little bit of lag based on the mouse. I think maybe we've plugged it in, something like that. Some
Okay.
pretty high-tech strategies as we've journeyed to see what Ash Ketchum can do against the evil forces of Team Rocket here in Sandbox versus Gen G. Root down here, walking on top of a ward. We'll have his bear buddy, Yogi, coming through.
That
try and,
skin
help
sort
him
of
out.
looks like Jesse,
Oh, it does a little bit.
doesn't it? Yeah.
Well, maybe Jesse defected.
Oh.
Or maybe James defected.
Maybe this is. Oh, you know what? It actually looks like Nurse Joy.
Oh, that's true.
A little
There
bit,
we go.
right?
And that is, Nurse Joy probably doesn't
Yeah.
like Team Rocket very much.
And this is Reggie Rock in mid lane.
Oh, yeah, true.
You see that?
Or is it Reggie Steele?
It could be Reggie. Yeah,
I think Reggie Steele makes a little
yeah.
bit more sense, yeah.
Reggie Steele makes a lot more sense. I'm glad that you saw that.
Yeah, you're welcome, you're welcome.
You noticed that really quickly.
I got you.
Yeah.
We don't have Officer Jenny. Officer Jenny just has elected to not be in this game, unless it's Rascal. Officer Jenny actually, we got some corrupt cops over on the side of Gen G joining in with good old Team Rocket. And as far as being a Pokemon, who would Rek'Sai be?
Oh, man.
Dunsparce? Do you remember
That could
Dunsparce?
be-
The most useless Pokemon ever.
That could be one, for sure.
Depends
I don't think
how
there's really a
well Clid
legendary.
plays.
Depicts it by any means. You know that Lee Sin is just like one of those side trainers on like Route 3.
Yeah, or one of the guys in the fighting the fighting dojo that gives you like Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan.
He's in the fighting gym.
Maybe he's actually just Hitmonchan.
That could definitely be a thing.
Yeah.
Well,
He does kick a little bit too much, so maybe him on top.
Giratina for Rek'Sai.
Oh yeah, do you call him Gyra? I always called him Giratina.
Really? Well, I
But
tend
Giratina
to.
is definitely a good one.
I have I do.
Was
have
that a
unique
collective?
way.
Was that a collective idea?
I always thought it was Gyra.
Yeah, well, I mean, we often have disagreements when it comes to pronunciation.
That is true.
As BDD going to get the speed up, and doesn't find the paddle star there onto Fate, whose Titan's Wrath was popped, but wasn't actually able to get off any of the damage or utilize the shield, unfortunately. As BDD currently ahead by just a little bit there in the mid lane, but otherwise everything is going A-OK. Ward here on the blue buff, as Clid is going to move himself out of the way. But Q's not going to land, and the patience is there from Shelly. OnFleek just stealing that one away.
And that's a really big steal. Clid gonna be down 2 camps right now. Everyone on the side of Sandbox has map hacks, given they know exactly where Rek'Sai is, what camp she's done. And the way that it currently stands, I mean, not a whole bunch of action is actually happening. Zoe with 1 Corrupting Potion left as Nautilus underneath the turret.
Yep, he has none of his Corrupting Potion stacks left and half of a health bar, so it's likely that Fate is going to be going back relatively early. And Clid going to be taking the Rift Scuttler there towards the top side. Of course, we know that Rek'Sai will be able to farm relatively effectively as BDD. Fair bit of damage there, proccing the bubble, but Fate was looking to go back anyway, but will miss out on a lot of farm as this wave crashes. And OnFleek has no intention of picking up that free experience in the mid lane, and will instead be walking towards a bottom lane where Gen.G are already playing very defensively. Not going to be blasting off at this stage as far as the bottom lane is concerned.
And Aurelia with a call on the first back, as well as the Doran's Blade.
Would we be calling that one a cheetah recall? Are we happy to pronounce it as one of those?
Sure, we can call it a cheetah recall. It's not on the traditional cheetah recall timing. I believe it was done on wave 5. And nonetheless, though, gonna be pretty valuable. You know, a lot of people, I believe the number is 156. I think that you need 156 AD for Doran's Blade to equal the healing of Cull on him.
Oh, really? Wow.
I believe that is the math. So the Cull and the Doran's Blade actually gives better sustain than just Doran's Blade.
Not bad.
But obviously missing some of the HP.
You can see BDD, pre-6 redemption. That's how you know a good Zoe player. If you RNG that, then that's just high skill. Showing that Zoe, just the champion herself, has deemed you worthy of being able to win the lane. BDD clears out the minions quite simply, and will now just drift into darkness on this bottom side. A lot of vision control here for the Zoe, but a lot of pings coming in as Joker has rotated around. BDD, portal jump. It's a good Q to land onto BDD there, but the bubble had already registered onto OnFleek, so not a lot of damage. Vanguard's edge towards the top side is Lonely, getting taken down very low. Rascal just bullying him out of this lane. Does have the teleport available, but will still miss out on a cannon creep, most likely. No, never mind.
Okay, so Lonely still didn't get level 6, which means Rascal is just trying to threaten and pressure him. His HP is a little bit too high for Rascal to try to all-in against.
Especially without ultimate, right?
Yeah. Now he's going to come over.
Luckily for Lonely, he is able to actually pick up all the experience, at least, in that wave. As BDD now gets himself the bubble onto Fate. He's going to flash, but Clid still gets the knock-up. 100 health, flash forward there as the dredge line is going to come down. Fate does eventually go as Clid looks for another knock-up. Now OnFleek in trouble as BDD is ghosting around, picks up another flash. Every time these summoner spells come in, it is brilliant for BDD, who's still running through, grabbing whatever he needs. Doesn't have his own flashes. There's the flash forward from Lonely to try and get the kill, but that is a 2-1-0 BDD, and he's still very happy.
Zoe.
Just Zoe things, guys. Keeping track of which is his actual summoner spells and which wasn't in that last particular exchange was extraordinarily difficult.
I mean, Zoe was just moving fast. It was almost like she moved through time.
Yeah, well.
Like
she's taken Echo's job, I think, at this stage.
She managed to move.
I mean, what was Fate even doing?
She was just living so many years in the future.
Yeah.
Is all that's happening here as BDD comes in, ends up killing Fate, and yeah, the question is, what is he doing? As Clid did end up using his flash, but didn't matter in the end. Teleport obviously came in from Lonely. Good smite by OnFleek. Trying to just get as much HP, live as much as he can. Root ended up coming over, did have the wave that was crashed down there in bot lane.
Yep. I think BDD got 3 flashes in that last fight. Used his own heal. I thought it looked like a ghost, but it wasn't, as no one actually has ghosts, so it's going to be pretty difficult to pick that one up outside of a minion wave. As we have now gone back to just regular laning. 1,200 gold the lead here for Gen G after that particular exchange. And we look down towards the bottom side, and actually Ruler and Life are now ahead in farm. It was Root and Joker actually doing pretty well in that regard earlier on, but it has since turned around. BF Sword, the first back for the Misfortune, as he's just going to go for another one, I believe, as he just clears out the minion wave with his ultimate. Not going to change anything as far as Ruler and Life, though, so not exactly the best. All right, Rascal looking for a little bit of an engagement, but Lonely trading back very nicely there with the Flame Spitter. Flawless Duet doesn't really get any capitalization out of the Aurelia.
Yep. Now, Rascal is up a bit in the CS department. Also, can chalk a bit more CS onto him as well, given that the call is 52 complete. Should be able to finish that call up very shortly as well. A couple more minion waves to go. Seeker's Arm Guard on the Rumble, making it a bit difficult for the Aurelia to find solo kills. And also Merc Treads picked up first, just for that Matic resistance. And just a very defensive, controlled kind of play happening out of Aurelia here in top lane.
The thing that's really scary for Sandbox is that they still have to be the ones on the front foot, because Gen G's composition is just going to get better and better in comparison to theirs as this game goes on. And the most dangerous time will be around that 20-minute mark, where you've got Ezreal sitting in the mid lane, able to perpetually control it with BDD, throwing out bubbles and being able to fish for any sort of engagement that Gen G are looking for. In the meantime, Rascal is in a side lane, not being able to be moved because he's just a superior split pusher to anything that Sandbox has to offer. Pretty dangerous stuff here if you are a Sandbox fan. But they will still have some mid-game control with the Rumble and the Misfortune ult combination. If they can get around an objective and fight, force a fight before they get poked out by the Ezreal and the Yuumi plus the Zoe. Team Rocket pretty good at just avoiding a fight and winning it before it even happens. Saw it yesterday. It was actually pretty awful to deal with.
And with the second dragon coming up being Mountain, there is the chance that we get a pretty awful dragon, which is Cloud.
Yep. Cloud Soul, not the greatest.
It really needs to get buffed. It needs something to be changed. I was told by, when I was streaming yesterday, I believe someone told me that August had commented on Cloud Soul. Obviously, I can't confirm.
All right, weird kickback there on BDD as he does get the zoomies.
Oh!
As that is a great ultimate, taking down at least one there, but it's a trade of 1-for-1 as Ruler looking for Root, who's out of the fight right now. Rascal dives into the backline and is unable to get anything, maybe a little bit overly aggressive. There's now Life giving Ruler up for the Ghost by the looks of things, and he's going to be taken down as well. Sandbox find themselves the team fight that they're looking for and the gold lead at the same time.
Rascal whiffing mechanically inside of that fight, but also the question just being, why did Gen G opt into that fight in the manner that they did? Really surprising.
Yeah, we weren't expecting something like that to happen there. But fighting off a little bit more than they can chew. As you saw, BDD, like,
I have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
I have absolutely no idea. I don't think he does either. As eventually, Zoe ultimate comes out, Rek'Sai as well. Teleport brought in by Rascal, flash ultimate, and then just whiffs mechanically, doesn't get the stun onto On Fleek.
I mean, the rest of the team was looking for Root in the backline, unable to actually do that at all and get any damage. And in the meantime, Sandbox had all grouped up and murdered the Aurelia. Unfortunate stuff there from Gen G, and not exactly the expected level of communication for this squad, who have seemed completely on the same page as this game goes on. But as we were talking about, when it comes to Sandbox's composition, that's exactly what they needed to achieve. And now Lonely is huge. He's 2-0-2 on the Rumble after dealing with quite a difficult laning phase, as you can see, as far as the CS numbers. 18 CS advantage for Rascal with a cull about to be cashed in.
45 seconds until the Mountain Dragon's picked up. Almost Leandri's Torment completed. For Rumble. up in top lane.
Yep, has that on top of the fully stacked by now, I would assume, Seeker's arm guard that he'd already done before. So pretty powerful Rumble. Moving into the next dragon fight in 20 seconds. Does have teleport available. Does have equalizer up as well, as Sandbox looking to secure vision around this area. BDD has picked himself up a barrier, as Ruler clearing out vision with life by his side. But 3 members down here. Gen.G just looking to try and retain some control of the bottom side of the map. That looks quite difficult to do at the moment, especially with Clit up here towards the top side, looking to steal away a blue buff.
And Mountain Drake is live. They're just going to give it over to Sandbox.
Yeah, it's going to be soloed out by OnFleek.
How much?
It's pretty good dragon here for Sandbox.
You ready for the cloud?
Oh, let's check it out. I'm waiting.
I'm rubbing my hands together right now. I'm so excited.
I mean, both of these teams desperately want an Infernal Drake. There it goes. The caster blessing of the Cloud Drake.
Atlas.
Yeah. Well, Lonely comes on down here. Clid gets a little bit of extra movement speed on his way out. And Lonely's going to get the bad news that, in fact, this jungle is relatively lonely. Oh, only one little Merkwolf there. And Lonely doesn't even put it out of its misery. As Joker wandering around looking for where his next attack is going to come from. You can see just based on moving back to a laning phase, Gen.G have re-attained the lead. Manamune, or Manamune, completed here for Ruler.
And I think that with the Dragon going down and only the second Rift Herald coming up soon, but all these turrets being so healthy, pretty much across the board, obviously mid is a little bit damaged, we're probably not going to see any action end up unfolding. And if we do, I think that it's just players opting into something that isn't really necessary. We have 4 minutes till Cloud Dragon ends up coming up, but even that isn't really a very big prize. So what is probably most ideal for Gen.G at this point is to just wait 10 minutes, continue getting items, and then let the Ezreal Zoe come online.
Yeah.
And then start trying to actively look to take team fights. The Aurelia still very far away from Trinity Force, obviously stunted due to the Tiamat purchase.
The Cull has been cashed in, so at least that will be providing a bit of extra gold for Rascal. As, yeah, the Tiamat, not an always food for the Aurelia, but it does certainly help her shove waves very effectively. Anti-freeze item. But we don't freeze here in the LcK.
No?
Not a thing.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just not what we do. As we're probably just waiting for a Trinity Force completion. As the bottom outer turret was taken by Gen.G. No, it wasn't actually. It's in fact still very, very healthy. We've just switched towards the top side. And we have Shirley to be thrown down. Sorry, Shirley. To be thrown down for OnFleek. The second Rift Herald, of course, going over to Sandbox as well. As Clid will just knock up Lonely here. As Flawless Duet. Not going to be so flawless, but does get an easy flash out of the Rumble.
Rift Herald being summoned in mid. Now taking away Zoe's mid-tier 1 turret is kind of nice.
But I think it's likely to turn into Ezreal's mid turret, who is a little bit safer there, standing around in the mid lane. So not exactly the worst thing for Gen.G. But still, I mean, all of the map pressure that you can garner at this point in the game is fantastic for Sandbox.
The thing about this is, at this point in the game, even though the gold score is totally even, obviously Sandbox's Dragon is more valuable than Gen.G's.
Yep.
But all things considered, the nature of the team compositions, Gen.G is still ahead right now. So Lonely does get locked up right there. Rascal and Clid not going to be able to find the turret. Lots of jungle camps are up.
Yep, lots of vision towards the top side as well for Sandbox.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff going on right now. You have Lee Sin. He's building Black Cleaver against targets that actually don't build armor. So he's not really amplifying it for anyone except for Misfortune and the Volibear.
And Volibear does, if you're in a team fight, a lot of magic damage anyway.
Yeah,
because of his lightning claws.
So it's a bit of a build path here. Obviously, the other stats are just really valuable. Oblivion Orb picked up by BDD, even though we can probably assume that magic resistance will start being picked up by other champions in the later stages of the game, but he can just sit on that orb with the Sork Pen boots.
Yeah, I think
Gives
it's
the
actually
33
good
pen.
for mid-game damage. Out from the Zoe, we are at the point where having the double pen plus Ludens will be very, very strong for the Zoe. It will be a forbidden book pretty soon, though.
You already know.
Yeah, we know. You'll be getting out your camera to take a photo for Instagram pretty soon. But, you know, sometimes you can't win them all. You can't win them all. It's great against the Volley Bear passive. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
It is. You know what? There you go. You're always looking at the glass. Like,
Yeah,
it's not
it's-
even half full to you. It's just the water that is.
Yeah. I actually envisage, even if the glass is entirely empty and dry, I envisage it just full of water.
Is that how you pronounce
Glistening
that?
spring water.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
That's how optimistic I am. Almost naively so.
Whoa!
As BDD will find the bubble.
Yeah, gonna have to cleanse.
Yeah, True Shot Barrage comes down as well, does a fair bit of damage there to Lonely. And the Equalizer is used just to clear out a wave. You can feel the pressure that Gen G are still amounting, and they don't have a gold lead. They just have a comp lead at this stage of the game. Q is going to land. Still, I mean, if you can hard engage as the Sandbox composition with Equalizer available, then it is still going to be an opportunity, but you can't let this happen. You can't let your team members get locked down as there's the last chapter. The kickback isn't great, though, as the ultimate does come through from Clit. He flashes to get himself out of the way as now BDD looking to try and get some damage down as Rascal finds the Vanguard's edge, and Lonely, he's slowed down to high heaven, and in the meantime, Gen G have the man advantage elsewhere on this map as well, as we cruise down, and the Prey Seeker is going to find the Lee Sin, and now Root absolutely nowhere to go. Oh dear, Make It Rain comes through. This is a relatively weak turret that should be super diveable here by the Gen G squad. And yeah, Prowling Projectile will be able to lock this one down. Root's running pretty fast, but yeah, there's going to be the Blade Surge, and that is going to be the final kill. I believe Joker did die at the start of that one, so an unofficial ace here for Gen G.
And so Gen G now with that victory, picking up the Cloud Drake. It's not the most impactful dragon, but if they do get to the Soul, it is really nice on Rek'Sai. It is really nice on Aurelia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those champions all will make a lot of use of it if they get there. So, not the best kick in the world. Rascal getting on to Joker, eventually bringing him down with the assistance of Yuumi. Interestingly enough, actually led him back over to Lonely on the left-hand side. So that was a really bizarre decision by Joker on the Volley Bear. The other members just ended up getting picked up, and you know, this is sort of where the meta is gravitating towards. It's the old bread and butter of Ezreal Zoe, along with Yuumi. So,
and we're seeing exactly how it works as well. It works exactly how it used to, which is you win an initial fight and then you're clean up. So the likelihood of actually getting an ace and not allowing the opposition to disengage is super high with Ezreal Yuumi, because their chase potential is just ridiculous.
yes, they really flourish when
camera,
both teams are exhausted.
Yeah.
So, after ultimates are down, summoner spells are down, cooldowns present on certain champions.
And this is exactly the comp on Sandbox's side that relies on having an R button, right? Because as soon as all the R buttons are gone, like, these champions are not the same.
Yeah.
Apart from Joker, of course, because, yeah, Volley Bear Ultimate's a bit of a meme.
Well, we'll see what else ends up happening here. It just really looks like this game is completely over. Gen G, they're up about 4,000 gold now. They have a vastly... Oh, hold on, I gotta get...
Yeah, you need to take the photo.
Yeah,
I told you to, but I think you may have
Yeah, I'm
missed it.
sorry.
Focusing elsewhere.
It's okay, I mean, like... Yeah, that's another Morello.
Yep. There we go. Clit going to burrow over. We're looking for on-fleek here as Tremor Sense is going to spot him out. Prowling Projectile is good. There's a fair bit of damage coming through with that Redemption that, of course, BDD picked up for himself. You saw the Summon Airy being utilized. No Redemptions collected by the rest of the team. As, yeah, Root's in mid lane just trying to farm himself up. He's ahead in farm by 1, but the Power Spike are the 2 items that Ruler has, especially as the Muramana has been completed. Very, very powerful. Do you know where the, like, you know how Manamune and Muramana takes on the Masamune and the Muramasa, which are, I think, like famous swords from Japanese culture, but I'm not actually entirely sure. A lot of people think it's from Final Fantasy, but it's in so many different RPGs as well that I figure it must come from somewhere, like a mythological thing. We need to figure out where it is. There was someone that was talking about it on Twitter yesterday, and I was a little bit interested. Not interested enough to actually research anything. I just wanted to talk to you about it on the broadcast.
Well, I am trying to figure out what it might be from, and I can't come up with anything else. Well, so you know, I'll leave that to you right now.
Yeah, you go on a spiel about this game that's over.
Zoe's bubble goes wide, and we're just basically waiting until third item completion.
Cool. So Masamune is widely recognized as Japan's greatest swordsmith.
Oh, that's his surname?
Yeah, that's his surname.
Or his nickname? That sounds like a very
That's really
surname.
cool.
All right.
I wonder whether the Muramasa has yeah,
Atlas, don't even check out the collective right now. I feel like honestly you'd be getting Bob Ross right now. That's very interesting.
Oh, really?
You know that?
I hope so. I absolutely hope so.
I feel like that's probably.
So it is a Japanese legend. It's not something that's purely from Final Fantasy or Golden Sun, which is where I first saw it, as you have now made the Bob Ross appear in the collective's mind. As there's a flash forward from Joker. We have been brought out of the LoL state here as immediately the Rek'Sai is taken down, but this is likely to be where Gen.G can flourish. That being said, they're just going to get burnt down. Great double kill coming through here as B2D picking up flashes left, right, and center. Rascal trying to chase down Lonely. They should be able to grab this kill as Joker and Fate still alive also, but Lonely not so lucky. Backs are going to come in, but it is still a win for Gen.G despite only having 2 members still alive. They will retain map control.
And they should still be able to pick up the Cloud Dragon. Rascal also going to steal away the red buff. Let's take a look at how this all transpired. On Fleet coming in there on Joker. Managed to get the cancel onto Clid. And that's why this fight was as much of a hot mess as it was. Ruler ended up killing Root before being locked up, bringing Meowth with him.
That's completely, that saved the fight for Gen.G.
Yeah, it really
The fact
did.
that Root did fall down meant the consistent damage after the R buttons were left. Is certainly able to do it. B2D missing a bunch of skills there, trolled by a stopwatch. That is all right. We will forgive him for that. 4,000 gold. Still the lead here for Gen.G. Still ultimately in control and have now augmented their Drake count with a Cloud Drake. Bit of a luxury one, but not able to take down their second just yet to threaten that Cloud Soul as another bubble is going to land. Remember, still in the stage of the game where Zoe is so impactful. And also, B2D continues to retain a 100% win rate after 6 games on Zoe. So this is certainly a key pickup for him. True Shot Barrage over a couple of members of Sandbox just to soften them up. They're unable to actually stop this Cloud Drake as there's the dredge line to land onto Clid. Good bullet time into the back line as well. Doing so much damage. Rek'Sai and Yuumi already taken down, but look at B2D. Look at Ruler. They're going to be the ones that are important in this fight as Vanguard's Edge destroys the Volley Bear and in goes Rascal into the back line, able to get the double kill. Can he actually do it? The answer's no, but Ruler might be able to clean this one up. He's looking for Fate for the easy kill, but it's a good max range dredge line to get himself out of the way. Mystic Shot's going to go wide, but he still should be falling down here.
Yeah, he
will be able to dive on top of him, and yeah, he's running in slightly the wrong direction.
Ooh.
As Ruler just arcane shifts to get over to the top, but he does manage to keep alive his 80 carry and top laner.
So
messy fights, though.
Yeah, these are extremely messy fights. As the Zoe bubble doesn't really have a purpose. Clid just honestly getting caught over and over and over in this game. I think most of these fights have actually been 4v5 on the side of Gen.G. They end up winning this one. Yuumi died for Clid's sins as well. Aurelia able to stay alive and just do enough damage to allow the Ezreal and Zoe to just sort of keep taking over the fights. And unlike Team Rocket from the anime series, this one actually wins.
Yeah, sorry, I was reading about
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Masamune and
Yeah.
Muramasa.
Yeah, tell me more.
Once again. So apparently this was an apprentice and master of sword smithery. And they had a competition to see who could make the best sword. So they're not actually swords at all.
Oh,
They're actually people.
All right.
And that's what the Manamune and Muramana are based on.
Some of the old historic Japanese swords are actually worth insane amounts of money.
Of course they would.
If you can find them or...
And also they're collector's items that really do appeal to a lot of people as well. They want to have like swords on display. And
Yeah,
all that cool
yeah.
stuff. I remember when I was a kid, I actually I bought a when I was in China traveling when I was 19. I came home with a little mini katana, which I felt really cool about having.
Okay.
It was really janky. It wasn't very good stuff at all. I think I was pretty taken advantage of by the guy at the knick-knack store.
Dude.
Yeah.
I used to...
Classic.
Oh, man. There used to be, like, festivals hosted in my home state, usually, like, twice a year. And you could just tell those shops were scamming you.
Oh yeah, straight up,
man.
dude. Straight up.
They would sell you, like,
Little pocket knives that look really cool and stuff.
A plastic chain or, like, a plastic necklace that
Yep.
has, like, a plastic diamond in it or something. They slap a $50 price tag on it.
Uh-huh. It must be good if it's worth that much,
Yeah.
right? No, that's not how that works, guys. Don't get scammed. Move to a continued 4,000 gold lead here is Gen G. Haven't been able to extend it so much. We've got a Banshee's Veil completion for BDD, though, and Blade of the Ruin King is done for Ruler. But 3 items are en route as well. He's got his rapid-fire cannon to augment his first 2 items also, as Rascal will find Lonely, but is just going to hold on to that information as he moves on back into the jungle and out of vision.
And not much.
We're just waiting for Cloud Soul on Gen G's side.
Yeah. I think that is all they're waiting for. They have the 3rd items completed. Blade of the Ruin King picked up by Ezreal.
This is a really big rumble, though. He just completed his Rabadon's Death Cap. He is very, very strong. Avoid stuff next, and he will be doing maximum 4-item damage.
Yeah.
And with the Zhonya's for the extra defensive capabilities. Rascal was thinking about a back, but instead just going to clear out this minion wave.
Actually, a little surprised Aurelia's not getting Wit's End in this game.
Yeah, would be strong.
Be very nice against a lot of the targets that she is trying to stay on top of.
And also will allow that Ionian Fervor to stack a little bit faster also. BDD getting towards the mid lane, wanting to keep this shoved in 20 seconds until the Cloud Drake is back on. And you can see Gen G do have a lot of extra map control. Still, inner turrets still stand for both teams. Spate taking a fair bit of damage from BDD. He's got a Proto Belt activated as well. This is the Gen G poke potential that they do have available to themselves. The Rumble, realizing the pressure, will teleport into the mid lane as Rascal looking at a flank opportunity with his Vanguard's Edge at the ready. And it might be Sandbox actually looking to try and trade this Cloud Soul for the Baron buff. The Gen G do not need to invest anyone else. They have started off the Baron.
And this is really, really trolly.
Yeah, Trishop
By
will
Sandbox
spot this
here.
one off completely. And Sandbox, I mean, they can't let their health bars go this low. The threshold for a Zoe one-shot is way higher than in a lot of other compositions where you don't need to worry about something like that.
They're going to want to make sure that they stay at 100% and not 98
Yeah.
in order to avoid...
You gotta eat that honey fruit, otherwise you could just die. As Joker, speaking of dying, is just gonna get taken out here, but last chapter is not going to be too effective. Rascal going to follow him up there, and Joker will survive. In the end, BDD looking to jump on over and try and get the kill, but somehow the Volley Bear survived. Cue the Yakety Sax.
And honestly, a very slow paced kind of game happening right now. Aurelia going Guardian Angel, 4th item.
Yep.
I do believe that Rek'Sai going Guardian Angel, 4th item, most likely as well. Although,
I think Adaptive Helm.
yeah, it looks like
coming in
Adaptive
next.
Helm is actually coming in next because the Null Magic Mantle with the Spectre's Cowl. But
I think I'd like to see Gen G try and force a fight a little bit earlier, though, so they can use those stopwatches and then
complete into the enemies, yes.
Yeah, the Guardian Angel, otherwise it's 600 gold spent for no reason. Apart from getting towards the recipe. Lid moving up towards the top side though, will spot out this control ward. As does Yuumi have vision when she's inside Rek'Sai?
What?
So does Yumi's vision range apply when she's inside Rek'Sai, or do you have to rely on the Rek'Sai vision range?
I have never played either, so I do not know.
I actually haven't experimented with that particular interaction before. I assume you get to borrow Yumi's vision range.
Yeah.
But she's still there. Like she's unable to see when you're doing your U and B type stuff.
I wonder if Rek'Sai actually has to work harder when digging the tunnels in order to make sure that they don't collapse on top of Yuumi.
Ooh, maybe. Or maybe Meowth actually helps out.
Maybe Rek'Sai just actually
Maybe you tunnel a little bit faster.
Oh.
With Yumi's help.
That could possibly be it.
That'd be cool if like it was like 0.002 like seconds faster or something like that. One of those Easter eggs like we used to have in League of Legends.
Yeah.
Like Leona would do a little bit less damage to champions with sunglasses on.
Oh, that's right. 1 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And ninjas would do 1 extra damage if there was no other ninjas in the game.
Yes.
Which was super cool also, as Lonely taking a hell of a lot of damage there from Ruler. Oh, looking for Root, who just got chunked out of this fight entirely. We were talking about Lonely hitting that Void Stuff power spike. He's so close to getting it. Only a recipe completion away, but Genji feel like they've managed to chunk out their opponents enough. They've taken this Baron down to half health already.
Rascal with the Yuumi. Yeah. This is going to be a big Vanguard's edge.
Well, we'll see whether Rascal can actually grab any kills just yet. He does find the Lee Sin. First off is cleared. It's going to go golden. Ruler doing the same thing as he flashes out of the way of Joker. But it is still Sandbox winning this fight for now. Somehow, Root's able to get this one working as Fate has to go golden. Root's still at full health. He needs to get into this fight to try and save it for his team. And Rascal's just gigantic life is going to get in there, but not in time. A double kill already as Rascal finds the triple. Down to his GA, it's a 1v1. Root versus Rascal. Rascal doesn't want it though, he's flashing out of the way. It's going to be a 4-for-4 on both sides. All of these team fights have been so close.
And this is also, okay, regardless of how Gen G is choosing to take these fights, I do want to point out, the only Dragon Soul that would ever allow Sandbox to win this fight is the Cloud Soul.
Yeah.
Any other Dragon Soul, and it's such a stomp. And if more of these team fights continue in pro play, Riot really does need to just look at this and evaluate the discrepancy between this one and the others in terms of the objective. Now, Joker...
Equalizer was fantastic as well.
So, Ezreal and Zoe, the 2 centerpieces of the team, just completely left alone by everyone else, as Clid, he's really been the MVP for Sandbox this game. he's really been putting in work.
Oh, BDD also just crit to death by this 4-item Misfortune, who managed to keep her distance, play it safe. Oh man, it's close to Rascal being able to actually win that 1v1, but not actually going to attempt for it at all. Didn't have the lifesteal in the kit, and didn't, of course, because he was still coming back to life after the GA, was unable to utilize a lot of that Ionian fervor that he had built up throughout the rest of the fight. As we have a look at the damage, and it was not a lot coming out of Ruler. You don't often see numbers like that from an Ezreal, as he was dealt with very, very early on. So look to see whether Ruler is able to actually get more work done as we move into the next round of team fights, because he now has double lifesteal.
And remember, when the Rek'Sai came in on R4, we mentioned straight from the get-go, why would you pick it into all of these champions that Sandbox had already shown? And it's being picked simply in isolation for early game potency or something.
Yeah.
Some other gibberish that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. But it's not doing anything inside of this game, but then also Clid has been consistently getting caught out, and it's making it so that Sandbox is staying alive a lot longer than they should.
There's the final chapter that comes forward. Oh, the bullet time just eviscerates the Ezreal. BDD's going to have to run away. Thankfully for life, he's able to tag on to BDD. And now without their AD carry. Ruler does have teleport in 45 seconds when he does respawn, but at 37 minutes into this game, these death timers are so long, and the Elder Drake is live. Sandbox just able to move over to it.
And if Sandbox actually get this Elder Dragon, this is disastrous for Gen G. But I have no idea why he would ever approach at the
he's
angle.
Trying to make it a 50-50, gets into the pit, but he's actually unable to lock this one down. Easy kill onto the Rek'Sai's Vanguard's Edge. Into the backline is doing a lot of work. Oh my god, Rascal survives for a long time, but then gives away 1,000 gold as BDD not able to find the bubble onto anyone. The flawless duet was great onto 4 people, but unfortunately Rascal just, wasn't a lot that he was able to actually accomplish there.
Wait, the game might be over.
Yeah, and Sandbox with the B team, able to run through and really give it to Gen G with a composition that they really like running. Still, it's not over yet, as Ruler has respawned. Clid has another 15 seconds before he's back up. Teleport at the ready, for Rascal when he's going to get back in here. But Sandbox, still with 5 members, will head over to this Baron. And Equalizer's available, Bullet Time's available, Dragon Rage is available, everything is up for Sandbox. And Joker's able to play defense as they've got double big buffs.
So let's
have a look at this again,
What is Ruler doing? Compelled by a cosmic force to run up and hit the minion wave, and then I have no idea what Clid's doing. Absolutely zero. I don't even want to try to get into his mind. I feel like something might happen.
Yeah, don't get infected. That's why you're wearing the gloves.
All right. Let's go mid, let's go mid, let's go mid.
And a lot of nice. Joker, certainly a emotional powerhouse for this Sandbox roster. Maybe it was what they were missing this entire time. He doesn't have a awful win rate so far in the games that he has actually played. He's having a look. No, actually he does. He's won 1 game out of the 4.
Well, as long as Gen G doesn't take a team fight against the Elder, they'll be fine in resisting the Baron, even though they don't have a lot of wave clear. They have so much counter poke.
Yeah.
They should be able to hang on.
Oh, we've got 6 items on Rascal. I think this Aurelia really needs to get some work done in the coming minutes. See BDD also trying to land some of these bubbles, but it's very aggressive from Sandbox. Equalizer does basically nothing though, and the bubble is going to register. Lands onto the Lee Sin. Good safeguard from OnFleet to get himself out of the way as we've got a very deep
Elder
teleport.
Is 15 seconds until it's over.
Probably want to wait for that one. As
no, man.
Oh, dearie me. Okay. Well, Rascal just going to throw his life away into this Sandbox roster. They're still trying to fight this as he will respawn, but it's not enough. Bullet Time goes into the sky in celebration of their kill of the top laner. And Rascal is so much of the power of Gen G. I don't know what he is doing.
I can't make sense of it, Atlas. I really can't.
Yeah, well, you're not going to hear much from me either. I know my cup is perpetually full. I don't know what it's full of anymore. Come on, analyst, analyze.
Okay, things happen. Champions hit each other. A death occurred, and now they're using the recall button.
All right.
So they can go back to the fountain in order to spend their gold. Now take a look at this. They teleported all the way because they want to make the flank. The problem is they should never in a million years be thinking this is a great time to fight. When the opponents still have Elder Dragon buff persisting, as well as the fight is going to take place inside of a minion wave, which means that there's more added buffer against the Ezreal and Zoe. Just a million things going wrong. Gen G are looking so off this game.
And
they
Rascal
had such a massive edge.
Rascal just sold his GA and bought a QSS instead, so that's a few battle stats that he's now missing out on. But will at least not get hard CC'd in the next fight. Total gold for Root, gigantic. He's got 6 items, no boots. Which is, scary, to say the least. The Luxury Phantom Dancer coming in there for, I believe, 100% crit at this point in time. Having a look down, can't actually see it in the stats, but 2.0 attack speed when he presses that W button is real scary. And over 400 attack power. It's okay. We'll see whether Gen.G can actually pull this one together. They're a squad that is known to generally play well in the late game, but if they keep up the decision-making that they've been doing, this is just going to be a Sandbox win. There's no other way to put it. Ruler very close to hitting his 6th item.
And again, the team composition, it's all about Ezreal Zoe. So, rather than going for these very bizarre, wonky engages with the Rek'Sai and the Aurelia, if they just play frontline duty and let Ezreal Zoe constantly try to pick off and then provide openings for them, it would be a lot better. 15 seconds until Elder. It's going to come down to this final fight.
Yeah, we do have the minion wave in the bot lane being dealt with by Rascal. Of course, Aurelia is going to have no worries dealing with that one, but 4 seconds, Elder Drake just being defended here by Sandbox is cleared. With Tremor Sense available, he's going to know where all of the Sandbox members are, but he's going in very aggressively onto OnFleek. He's going to be able to get out of there as Joker right in amongst it, but the final chapter is going to come through and Rascal going to lock down the kill. Anything you can do, I can do better, is what Sandbox is saying when it comes to throwing this match.
This should be an Elder converted into a Baron.
Should be, as Bubble's going to lock down the Nautilus. True Shot Barrage as well, over 3 members. And Cleared once again going for another engagement. He still has Flash available as Gen.G have them exactly where they want them. OnFleek, what are we doing? We're separated from the team as he's now in the Baron pit. Ruler not able to find too much, but the kickback onto Cleared. He tunnels through. Prey Seeker is going to find as there is another team fight happening towards the top side as Rascal soaks an entire bullet time and still has the zoomies up there as well. Dredgeline is going to go wide as the Vanguard's edge, going to get flashed out of by Root, but still Rascal is going to be able to follow him through. Sandbox are going to melt at the hands of Gen.G, who finally find the team fight that they were looking for.
Now, there's no minion wave, though. So, at the end of this, Gen.G will get both the Baron and the Elder, but they lost to Nexus turret, and that is very scary if a minion wave is ever in close proximity. OnFleek fails to get the mid-tier 3 turret.
Yeah, Baron is going to be taken first, as now, as you can see, exactly what you were talking about, LS. Sandbox are over here. They're going to be able to get the permanent vision of this Rift Scuttler, at least for the next few minutes.
OnFleek's gotta be careful!
Yeah, there's the final chapter. Good kickback once again as his cooldown reduction is relatively low right now, but not low enough as the Blast Cone is gonna troll Cleared completely, but it doesn't matter. He tunnels back through and he's able to lock down the jungler, and that should guarantee this Elder Drake. My god, the ping pong of this game has been insane, but it's been super intense. And this is where it all started. I thought this was potentially an in.
Now, amazingly enough, this is the one time that Gen.G were forced to actually play front to back.
Yeah.
Ended up being rewarding for them as the Zoe and Ezreal, this is where they flourish in these very wide open teamfight scenarios where they're allowed to utilize
but also in
their mobility.
And in man disadvantages, right? As soon as that first kill comes down, the follow-through of the Ezreal Zoe is so strong. And unfortunately, none of the key targets were actually able to be hit by the bullet time. Root has so much on his shoulders right now, reminding him of all of his times on Jin Air in 2019. But as we go back to live, this is Gen.G breaking open the bottom side of the base.
We're going to have one last stand.
Yeah, Depth Charge going to come through here from Fate. True Shot Barrage is going to make sure that he dies. The last auto attack from Ruler is enough to lock that one down. As now Rascal, he's going to QSS. The double kill comes in from the Ezreal as the final chapter does nothing, but it doesn't need to. Gen.G will get rid of the last Nexus turret, and Ruler is able to just get over the top of this team. Lonely goes golden, but he's not the golden boy at this stage, as that's the pentakill for Ruler to end this one, and Gen.G, after a sloppy match, are able to pull it all back. And who the heck do you give the player of the game to?